It's time for the Steve and Kyle podcast with Steve.
I don't think I have an ounce of Polish in me. Thank God. No offense.
No.
To any Poles who figured out how to use the Zune they were given.
Did only Poles buy Zunes?
So put it on the pole.
Kyle.
And I turned to my dad and I said, boy, these Polish aren't very attractive, are they?
No offense.
But no offense. And you can't be offended because I didn't say it to them.
Right.
You know, I only said it to my dad.
Yeah.
Who is, same amount of Polish as me.
Right.
None.
Also not offended then.
No. And I asked him, I said, are you offended? He said, what? And I said, okay, we're good then.
Live on tape from APS 3 point whatever, it's the Steve and Kyle podcast.
I'm a little disappointed we never got Melissa Vaughn to say APS 4.0 in anticipation of our eventual shift
It was very short-sighted on our part.
into the palatial 90 square feet.
Is that 10 by 9?
10 by 9.
Feels
10,
like a...
10 this way, 9 this way.
Boy, when you point it out, you can really see that extra foot on the depth.
Yeah. Well, I mean, these... Like, that's 4 feet. That's 4 feet. That's 2 feet.
What is, and I would be curious, what is the average jail cell size? And how do we compare?
I would bet that it's no more than 6 feet wide, maybe 8 or 10 feet long. So what's that?
BOP has accommodated...
6 by 8. So anywhere from 48 to 60 square feet.
Let's see, this is a asked and answered. You're never going to find a 100% guarantee, and it's probably different too because typically some of them will have toilets in them, some of them won't. So I'm assuming
this is our jail cell would be like where we're sitting right now. This would be where our bunks are.
Yep.
There would then be like a metal toilet that looks terribly uncomfortable and always cold. A small sink. And bars. Yeah, that's it.
According to reference.com.
Oh, the authority on...
Every jail cell question I've ever had.
Every jail cell question.
I've gone directly to reference.com.
Okay. Toby, lay down, man.
They say that the average size of a U.S. jail cell is 6 by 8.
Hey, I nailed
or
it.
roughly 48 square feet.
Yeah.
Which puts that at just over half of this room.
Yeah. Okay, so cut it in half this way.
Yep. Whew. Man. Because this table, we figured it was what?
I think it's...
36?
I think it's 40.
40. I think it might be
40 or 42 or something.
It's near 3.5 feet, right? It's not quite 4. So not even doubling that is the... Man. Well, this is our own personal jail cell.
Yeah.
That we put ourselves in every week.
Welcome back. Another episode from prison.
Hey, thank you guys. I wanted to say you guys showed up to Reed's 4th birthday little shindig yesterday, which he was hell-bent was his real birthday because that's when people were coming over. Mm-hmm. He did not quite understand the idea that his real birthday was, in fact, on his birthday, but it did not matter.
Well, kids are just the dumbest.
God almighty, isn't it incredible?
So dumb.
I don't know how they get through the day-to-day with how dumb they are. You guys showed up, and I appreciate it because that was the last one ever.
That's it, huh? You're wrapping it up?
I can't... You know what? I think internally more than externally, I gave you a little bit of guff a couple of weeks ago when we were talking about birthdays. And
you absolutely did.
Yeah. There was a question on the poll about it, about how terrible of a father you were. Yeah. That might not even be related to the birthday thing. That might just probably be in general.
Yeah, I mean, unrelated, yet still accurate.
And my God, man, it doesn't help. I've talked about this a little bit more recently, and it's not like I'm just now forthcoming with this. I never really thought this until recently about this underlying anxiety stuff that I have. And it doesn't cripple me because I think I've been accommodating to it for so very long.
You've normalized it.
Yeah, and it creeps into a bunch of different facets, right? So it's the idea of in my head all of these different tasks and household tasks that I have to do. Well, it's like, hey, if I didn't do laundry on this normal day, now I'm behind schedule. If I didn't do this when I thought I needed to, now I'm down a day on this side. Whatever. You understand what I'm implying.
I do.
And nothing quite gets me going.
Boy, Toby is just restless today.
He is not enjoying this. He is not enjoying the jail cell.
Toby, lay down, buddy.
He's not enjoying the jail cell today.
He's nudged at the door with his nose, trying to open it about 5 times already since we started. We're 6 minutes in. He's already dying to get out.
Yeah, that's what this podcast does to people and dogs.
Yeah, Toby, lay down. Man.
Is it gives you upwards of 6 minutes before you're quite literally scratching the door to get out.
Yeah.
We've had, this is the equivalent of somebody jumping out of their car to get away from us, listening to us. So I do this, and Katie's busy. So we're both trying to figure how we're going to do this, and
because you got to clean the house, and get the tables and chairs out. You need to. Okay, Toby's gone.
And in general,
is the outside door?
It is.
It's
shut.
closed.
It's
okay,
shut.
good.
It is really. I also hate having this in October. If this were in May, June, July, August, I feel even September, I would be 20% less anxious simply because I hate asking people to come over when it's October. It's weather. You have no idea what you're going to get.
And you guys have lucked out the last...
Oh, I don't even know if any other... This is the only year I remember it being okay.
No, it was great this year. Last year, it was equally as nice. I remember being at your house. The year before that, we were at your mother-in-law's house.
There was one, and it was last year, 2 years ago, where it was freezing cold. We had gotten heaters, but the heaters didn't work with the large kind of overhang tiki style ones.
Yeah, the ones you see at like a restaurant or bar.
Yeah, and it was just cold. I feel bad about it. And I feel bad about it because my house isn't big enough that if I have 15 to 20 people, having people inside, it's not going to work. So it needs to happen in multiple spots, whatever. So the weather turns out fine yesterday, but all of the next thing you know, it's a time crunch because you're thinking his birthday's on Monday. So we're doing stuff for his birthday on Monday. I hadn't even figured out the situation of having people over. What are we going to eat? When do we want to do it? All these items. And so finally it stressed me out to the max. And early last week I decided, I don't think I want to do this again. I think...
All right. You're on the winning team now, man. You're speaking my language.
And it's not fair. It's not fair to him. He loves it.
He's a kid. He's not going to remember anyway.
Yeah. I always buy whatever, little sets of decorations. So there's banners. And in years past, we've done more. I remember his first birthday party, my mother-in-law and my mom and my wife went to the nth degree on prep. I mean, there was a cake with Mickey Mouse ears. We had a fruit platter set up like Mickey Mouse's suspenders.
Oh, wow.
With the color-coded everything. The Mickey Mouse Clubhouse sign and hot dog bar because hot diggity dog. Like, all of these things. And obviously he'll never remember that one, but there's pictures and everything. But as you go, and I'm, what kind of birthday party? And 2 years ago, we did a Yeti party because he was really into a movie with a Yeti on it. Last year, it's all construction vehicles and things. So I'm buying all these things. I don't even think he looks. Right?
Probably not.
I don't think he notices them. I don't think he looks. And he definitely does not care.
No.
So there I am.
He sees presents. He sees pizza.
Yeah.
And cake.
And people. Like, he loves hanging. He loves with his cousins.
Yeah.
And anybody else who will play with him and just be with him. He loves. I think it's a real center of attention thing. Must get that from his mom. And so there I am. 2 days to go. It's Thursday. And I'm texting back and forth with my mother. And she says something about decoration. I said, I'm not doing it. And then I start feeling bad. And I'm like, all right. So there I go on Amazon, spend, and it wasn't a money thing. It's just, it's a waste because I bought a little set, banner, some stickers that go on the wall, streamers, yada, yada. 3 things that went on the table. It looked like a fire hydrant, a truck, and whatever. I don't think he even knew they were there.
Didn't notice them.
And I threw them away. They were out of the bag and in use for less than 3 hours.
Yeah,
and
because
in the garbage 1 hour after everybody had left.
Right, because you so you treated it much like you treat Halloween, Christmas decorations, where when the event itself is over, those decorations are gone.
Even during. And you're talking to Steve, and I think you would agree. You're probably talking to the person who loves Halloween the most that you know.
Right. So you'd think that you would be one of those people that would want to extend it as long as possible.
Halloween night, I'll be handing out candy in my yard with lights and decorations, and I've built decorations this year. I've built my own stockade.
I saw that yesterday. I was going to ask about that.
Like a mini tent. I've built a stick figure of a person so I can put a hat and shirt and pants on him. I'm doing a little Blair Witch scene in case you're wondering.
Of course.
I don't know if you've seen the Blair Witch Project in
Blair
a long time.
Witch Project?
Yeah, that's the movie.
Does not ring a bell.
That's got to be a lie, and I think you're doing that on purpose.
Of course, I've seen the classic, the classic horror flick, just chock full of the things that make a horror movie a horror movie.
That's right.
A bat, a ghost, yeah. And things that go bump in the night. Oh, plenty of stuff that went bump in the night.
I mean, I don't remember specifically seeing a bat, but I think it was implied. So I think you're still spot on.
Yeah.
So Halloween night, I'll be handing out candy again. The yard full decked, and I'll be looking at stuff like walking around, taking a decoration down, setting it to the side.
You're already looking at like, all right, well, if I start on this end of the yard, pull this down, this down, this down. By that point, my arms will be full, so I can. That's my first trip to the garage.
Yep.
And then I come back and I do this. And I probably cut 4 or 5 steps off the process. If I cut through the garden, go around the tree. Mm-hmm. Okay, so you basically have a lot of joy from this, but when the event is over, it's over.
And I think it speaks to a little bit of the anxiety. When it's over, I'm like, okay, now I have all this stuff. Mm-hmm. How long am I supposed to leave it up? And to put that in perspective a little bit, we were having Reed's birthday party thing on October 22nd. That is 9 days before Halloween. Mm-hmm. I have decorations in the yard. And before everybody arrived, I received an Amazon package with my Christmas-flavored coffee cups. Coffee pods.
Oh, did you, while you were ordering coffee, tangent, by the way, while you were getting coffee, did you get that the coffee that we've been talking about the last couple of weeks?
I got to tell you, when you say the coffee we've been talking about.
It was a chocolate peanut butter coffee.
I think it was peanut butter crunch.
Peanut butter crunch.
Again, if you need the directions, I'll drop a pin for you, and you can go drive over there and get it.
Yeah, boy.
At a local orchard. I do have, and I apologize, I forgot it today. My own mother gave me some specialty coffee for you to try.
Okay. Is this something that is it like her favorite, the one that she drinks?
She didn't specify. She seemed excited about it and seems to think that the flavor profile is going to welcome you back home to coffee's loving arms.
Okay. All right.
And I forgot it right on top of the refrigerator today. I will bring it next week, and I will have Annette brew you a cup.
I can't wait because
while we record, and you can sample it on the podcast.
Yeah, that makes me happy. That makes me excited. If there's anyone I trust, it is your lovely mother. Mm-hmm. By the way, a big thanks to Grandma Jane yesterday for helping out with our youngest, baby Boulenwall.
What a dick.
From the moment we got out of the car at your house until at least 1 hour in, so a solid 45 minutes to an hour, I would say, this child screamed.
He was upset.
He was, granted, we've seen that before. Those nights where they don't sleep for whatever reason, or they don't feel good, or they're not eating right. So we've seen that. But man, when that is out in public, that's bad. And luckily,
but it's not, right? Because
everyone there gets it.
Yeah, and you're more. I think it's so easy as a parent in that situation. You're much more in your own head than other people are.
Yeah.
Because you're not locked in some jail cell. Right? You're not
6x8.
Can you imagine being stuck in like an 8x9 or a 9x10 room with that? Whoof. And you're not. It's outside. And there's room to walk even if you want to go to the backyard, the front yard, inside the house. There's bedrooms inside the house that you guys would have been more than welcome if you needed to,
right.
Lock them up and throw away the key.
Uh-huh.
You could have done that as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's so much easier to simply... And that, I think the most notable place that happens is the airplane.
Oh, my... Oh. Ugh.
But I know, right? That gives you a little fit of... that gives you a little twitch just thinking about it.
Oh, terrible.
But yeah, you're right. He was having an afternoon yesterday.
Yeah. So your lovely mother saw what a terrible job I was doing trying to soothe him, and Annette wasn't having any more luck. So your lovely mother said, "Oh, let me take him," and then he just screamed in her ear for another half hour. But every now and then he'd calm down a bit. And he would just kind of look around and just have those big baby eyes. Mm-hmm. And but it was short lived. So finally, she passed him back off to me. And it seemed like right as she was passing him off to me, that was kind of at the end of his reign of terror. And he was somewhat mostly pleasant for the last hour or so that we were there.
Yeah,
But yeah, getting back to so if your mother says that she has a coffee that I need to try, that's top priority for me next week.
Yeah,
and can't wait.
I will make sure I bring it and provide it.
Do you know that is it like a good flavor?
I have zero details.
Does she know my flavor profile? The preferences?
She dropped it off in a bag.
Okay,
that's where I've left it. No offense, Mom.
Did she just drive by and throw it out the window?
Yeah. I didn't let her in the house.
Like a newspaper.
Yeah. I didn't let her in the house, so I said, slow down, but not too slow.
Yeah. So you've no doubt run over it a couple times with your car.
Yep.
That's been rained on.
Yeah, but that's okay because that helps the grounds express their true flavor.
Uh-huh. That's what they say. Well, I can't wait.
So yes, next week.
I'm excited.
But thank you very much. It's always a little bit not defeating too, because as an adult, not even as an adult, but as a person who's somewhat grown up, you start to understand when you open presents how you're supposed to react and what you're supposed to do. And kids do not have that filter,
and I love it.
So I always feel bad because, and especially for. I think a lot of the younger parents and younger people probably understand. But if there's a great grandma there, whoever, somebody older, and I always feel like if a kid opens a gift and then, lobs it to the side, like they do with 90% of them, because it's on to the next one.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if it's the greatest thing they've seen, pretty much.
Yeah.
Ooh, there's another thing there that needs to be unwrapped. I need to get to it. But you still, as a parent, sitting there watching, like you're trying to be excited for them and trying to get them to care and, give like a face of excitement or something and say thank you. Instead, every single time, it's what I described, which is
whatever. Next one.
And it's usually over the head.
Because for a 4-year-old kid, the excitement is ripping paper off of a box. Mm-hmm. It's not really about what's inside, but it's weird because that is something I've had anxiety about my whole life, is opening gifts.
Yeah.
In front of people. Like I'll do whatever I can to avoid that. It's just, I don't like it at all. So when I see other people doing it, I get a little bit of anxiety for them because I know what they're feeling.
Yeah. Yeah. It is strange because I think you turn a corner with gifts. Like I think at his age, he loves people watching him anyway. He loves opening gifts with people watching him.
Yeah.
But you're right. You hit that age where it's like, yeah, hey.
I remember that even as a little kid, I can still remember that anxiety. But speaking of the party yesterday, got some critiques.
Oh, good. Listen. This is the perfect time to hear those, because minutes after I announce I'm never doing one again,
right?
Now's the time I can get better.
Yeah, Well, maybe if you decide to bring him back in the distant future.
So were you walking around taking
course,
notes? Okay, good.
I got a whole sheet of notes for you.
A whole sheet, so not like a note on your phone, but a whole, in my mind, you have a college rule notepad.
Yeah.
That you were walking around.
I was walking around like a home inspector.
Who apparently, if you inspected my home, missed a terribly shoddily built deck, an inappropriately built
handrail
over the steps. But other than that,
a gas line
into the water dishwasher. No big deal.
Or was it vice versa? I don't remember.
So many things. My bathroom's crooked.
Yeah,
found that out when we remodeled our bathroom. Yep. It's everything's on an angle.
So the water flows down to the one end.
Unbelievable! It's unbelievable. You're trying to square off a bathtub, and you realize there's now a big gap on the corner because everything's built like a real jerk. But anyway, I apologize.
That's right.
Please, I have my own notepad open because I now need to take notes.
Yeah. Okay. So let's start off. I won't say the positives, but I'll say the not as negatives.
Can we start with the negatives first so I can get the affirmation at the end of the somewhat positives?
No.
Okay, good.
No, we're going from good to worse.
And by the way, you clarified good as not that good, not as bad as the bad.
Yeah, not as bad. Okay, so like if it was a scale of like 10 being the worst.
Sure.
These are like the 8s and 9s.
Yeah, okay.
Pizza selection... adequate,
okay.
I guess. I think you had...
adequate, I guess, is
adequate,
totally
I guess.
fine.
I think you had about 7 different varieties.
Yep.
Not bad.
I think there was a pepperoni sausage, and then a couple others. I literally, because the stuff I'm not going to eat, I don't like vegetables on my pizza, keep it away, through just a hodgepodge of stuff. Right. There's mushrooms in there, onions, green pepper, or banana peppers, and just...
Give me a fish pizza.
Yeah, strewn about. I pretty much... they had the list of topics. They order online, so I don't have to talk to people. And I'm just closing my eyes going, click, 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 click.
Yeah.
And moving on.
Okay. So, pizza selection again. Adequate. Would have appreciated possibly all boxes laid out in one continuous buffet line instead of having to walk around the island. Yeah. I mean, look, you got to be a real jerk to set up a buffet on an island.
Yeah, and again, right off the top of my head, I can only apologize. I obviously underestimated the amount of room I was going to need. Next time, I will rebuild that kitchen.
Real bad.
And add another 18 inches.
It didn't bother me so much, but people were talking.
And that's the last thing I need, is a hustle and bustle. A quiet murmur on the party about everybody having to round a corner.
Yeah.
Of this...
But look,
palatial island, by the way, as you described.
Because when you bring in the island aspect of it, then there's no beginning and end. People are confused. They don't know what end to start on. Your plates were kind of at the end. The plates obviously have to be at the beginning.
Yeah, I mean, I thought I had the plates at the start, but I see how that could be misconstrued.
Complete idiot layout.
Yeah.
Complete disaster.
Thank you.
No offense.
None taken. Listen, I'm busy click-clacking away, typing how to be better.
Okay. Good. This is a growth moment.
I'm glad somebody has the nerve, the guts to say,
look, I'm there.
What was going on at the party every time I would walk inside or walk away, and then everybody would make sure I'm around the corner, and then huddle into groups and talk about, can you believe the way they had that pizza laid out? Can you imagine having to round the corner to see the last pizza?
I'm the voice of the voiceless.
Yep.
A lot of the people did not have the guts to say what I'm saying.
Yeah. And listen, you've long said that. You're a bastion for the voiceless. You are a beacon of light in a world of darkness.
Again, this is all a growing moment. Self-growth right here. Speaking of the hideously designed pizza layout, why do I got to go into your house, up a couple steps, past the attack dogs to get to the pizza? Why couldn't the pizza be set out in the garage where the rest of the party was?
Absolutely thought of that. Absolutely thought of that.
Don't tell me you thought of it, because if you thought of it, you would have realized that this is the obvious way to go. Instead, you, like a stooge, set it up inside. Don't give me any more excuses about how I thought I was going to do it.
Listen, no excuse. I'll tell you, I looked at the options. I decided on rotating island buffet. And
what kind of idiot? What kind of idiot thinks that somebody wants to walk all the way across the house to get pizza, but then double back to get myself a refreshing drink?
Yeah, in hindsight, what I should have done, and I'm glad you pointed this out, was either put it all inside or all outside.
Yeah. And, would it be too much to rent a soda fountain that we can just pour all the drinks into?
Listen, put that down.
Maybe one of those ones where...
soda fountain.
Maybe one of those touchscreen ones so you can make special combinations. Like I can mix...
Oh, absolutely. You want the mixers.
I want some Fanta in with my Sprite.
Yeah. Oh, and then you need the flavor, too. Yeah. So you get the screen after, cherry, vanilla, lime, lemon, whatever.
What if I want to add more cherry to my cherry Coke?
Yeah. Listen, a lot of people say, too, the cherry Coke that I'm provided on a day-to-day is not cherry enough.
Not cherry enough.
Yeah, I need that grenadine-ish flavor to it. Again, a lovely note. No debate.
Okay.
These were still the not atrocious.
Everything was great, though. Everything was great. We had a great time.
I had the idea I was going to set up lawn games, and I remembered very quickly.
Funny you bring that up.
Now we're finally getting to the bad. And
this is probably a 9 out of 10.
Okay.
Completely spitting in the face of how the 1 to 10 scale normally works.
That's right. I remembered we got one game out and then very quickly set up, realized Reed has no time to allow that to happen. Last time we tried to play yard games, we had a couple of friends come over in the summer, and one of them, you set a bottle up or a fake bottle on top of a little pole, and you're supposed to try to hit the other person's pole with a Frisbee. He was just running around hitting the pole, knocking everything down. Yep. And so the little, I forget what the game's called. He set up little wood blocks in the yard. You're supposed to throw another wood block at him. He just runs around and throws the wood blocks everywhere. Sure. So gave up on that immediately. So for that, Steve, I apologize.
Okay. So let's go to the entertainment portion of the day. My options were get hit with a can that your son is throwing.
And boy, did he love that.
That was option A.
Boy, was he in love with the idea of whipping a can at that trash can and hearing it crunch. And yeah.
Option B.
God, he's so dumb.
Spin around until barfing on the swing.
Oh, brother.
Or option C. Climb on the roof. Boy, kids, which would you pick?
Well, I can tell you which one you chose. Because I had a ladder down for 15 seconds, and I turned around and I said, "Where did Steve go?" And much like a villain, I only saw a silhouette of you hopping over the crest of my roof to get to the other side.
I have a theory that I'm hoping you can confirm for me.
Yeah. Sure.
The only reason that you had people over yesterday was not for your son's 4th birthday party, but so you could finally get the satellite dish off your roof that's been up there since you moved in.
And thank God. I waited, food. I was starting to fold up chairs so people would stand up to make sure they wouldn't sit back down, again, hit the road. And started, boy, I'd love to get that thing off that roof someday. And the next thing
just dropping it in there.
A few people kind of rounded the corner. Robert made a joke about it, how he'd do it if I paid him some amount of dollars. Robert wouldn't even have to climb the ladder. He'd just reach. And a couple people went and looked, and much like fishing, it's the slow reel. There it was.
I'm the big fish.
I caught a Steve.
A big dumb fish on the end of the hook.
And
the end of the line.
I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's as I age. Years ago, and my friend Nate and I were talking about this. Him and I used to go on my brother's roof to help him set up Christmas lights. No issues. And I don't know what happened. It was years ago. I climbed up just a 6-foot ladder and started to like put one leg over to get on the roof and thought, there's no chance in hell I'm finishing this.
Yeah.
I am
That's
immensely
the tough part.
uncomfortable up there now.
Yeah.
Even after I have this extension ladder so I don't have to climb onto the roof, I can literally just keep stepping.
Yeah.
I still cannot do it. I can't bring myself. I told you at some point this summer, I got the extension ladder out. So the way my backyard is laid out, or the house, I don't know how you describe it, Steve, but to get to the top of the house from the backyard, it's probably full 16 feet.
Your house is your yard slopes toward the back.
Yeah, and it's
so
a daylight basement. Basement?
Yeah, daylight basement. So your front house, like you have a 1-story house.
Yep.
But in the back, it's basically 2 stories where your basement is like half above ground.
Yeah, so probably from ground to the roof where the satellite dish is 16 feet. Ish. Maybe a little less.
Yeah.
At some point this summer, I had climbed all the way up there in the backyard, got 14 feet, and I wasn't getting on the roof for this. This was just getting to the top of the ladder to where I could see eye level the satellite dish so I would know how to take it off, what I need, whatever. I got 14 of the 16 feet up, I think, and this ladder had been used forever. My uncle, who was a contractor and a painter, used it for tall ceilings. Like, I'm not worried the ladder's going to fall.
Right.
But you lose that second layer where it's not doubled up. It's starting to wobble a little bit.
It's a little flexy.
And I thought, I don't hate that satellite dish anymore. And I climbed back down.
Wrap some Christmas lights around it.
Climbed back down, folded that extension ladder up, put it back up where I keep it in the garage, and hadn't thought about it since.
Yeah.
Until yesterday.
When
I reeled in the big fish.
And so because the other 2 entertainment options, again, getting hit with a can thrown by your son or spinning until vomiting on the little tree swing.
Which I didn't notice. Did your daughter choose option B?
She got on the swing.
Okay.
And immediately said no.
Oh my God, she's such a buzzkill.
I know. So lame.
Honestly.
So, because I was bored out of my mind because there were no other options for entertainment.
And I should say now, the band canceled last minute. That's on me.
I decided to finally shut you up about this satellite dish that you've been going on about for God knows how long. I was going to take that bullet. So I shimmied up onto the roof. Within about 5 minutes, I experienced the joy that you can only experience by throwing a satellite dish off of a roof, watching it smash into the backyard.
Yeah, and honestly,
great time.
Yeah, and the willy-nilliness, nonchalant nature that you were up on that roof had me very uncomfortable even from the ground.
Yeah.
I
was showing off a bit.
You were reaching over the side because they had tucked the satellite dish, the cable, which is just, 2 inches thick, into the vinyl siding. So you were trying to get that loose. So, when I pulled it from the ground, it would come out, hanging from one hand, doing pull-ups.
Yeah. Yeah, I was really, really showing off.
And then finally did a flip off.
Yeah, my dismount.
To land on the ground, which I thought was, 6 out of 10.
A little excessive, do you think?
But yes, you did, Steve. You got it down for me. My 8-year-long nightmare is finally over. It's just one of those things, too, that I had always thought about, but it's not something I'd see a lot. Typically, if we're in the backyard playing or if I'm mowing the lawn, and I'd think it'd be, oh, God, I really want to get that thing down. But other than that, it was so out of sight, out of mind. But it was something that really bothered me ever since living there. I think even moving in or looking at the house before we bought it, saying to myself, oh, yeah, first thing I'm doing, I'm getting that thing down. No way I'm leaving that thing up. Do you have anything like that around your house that it's a project you wanted done? And it's for all intents and purposes, it's not involved, expensive, or a long thing. But you just, for whatever reason, you haven't done it.
Yeah,
right?
I'm sure there is. I can't think of anything off the top of my head.
I mean,
but
how long did you put off the cleaning of the storage room next to us here?
a year.
Okay. And that's something not essential.
No, and it took
Right?
me, when I finally did it, it took me less than an hour.
I'm trying to think if there's anything else in my house that I'm like, okay. I know for a fact we paid to have our cupboards and all our cabinets painted 2 years ago.
Mhm.
And they give you a little thing, the remainder of the paint, the touch up. And so, I had told myself I brought the paint up, I'd argue 6-8 months ago, set it on top of the fridge. Like, okay, one day when Reed is either after he's gone to bed or down for a nap, because if he sees you with paint, you tell him, hey, don't touch the paint. He's going to touch the paint.
Yeah.
So left that up there for about 8 months until about 2 weeks ago when I said, okay, this is ridiculous.
Probably.
I'm doing it. I'm finally doing it.
Yeah.
And I spent 8 minutes touching up the, dozen or so spots that had just tiny little dents and cracks and stuff. So simple.
Yeah.
And I put it off and
Yep.
And I hate that.
For me, especially when it's paint, I know that it's going to take me a minute to do the touch-ups, but then there's that time that I'm going to have to spend cleaning up, washing out a brush. So that's why I've gotten in the habit of just throwing out the brushes, throwing out the rollers.
So that way you're not even tempted, because
Don't even care.
If I wanted to do touch-up, I now have to go to the store to get more supplies.
Yeah.
Well, I'll have you know that thanks to your great-natured assistance, you cost me a trip to the store last night. I had realized once I pulled all the cords, which again, my God, so thick and so many.
I'm surprised that you continued on. You forged ahead.
Yeah, and I knew I wanted those cables out that went into the house, and didn't want to leave a hole in the house, so I had done similar things around pipes and other things before that go inside the house where you spray. It's called the great stuff.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, the expanding foam.
Yeah. So I went to the overhead cabinet in my garage, got out my great stuff, shook it up, walked out there. Nothing coming out.
Yeah, that stuff, surprisingly, after you use it the first time, it all solidifies in the can or in the spout.
It's kind of amazing because you pay, and it is what it is. Like, I think I paid $7 for it last night. It's anywhere between $6, $7, $8, $9, $10. It's a one-time use. So unless you have multiple projects that need great foam or great stuff, or one massive project that needs great stuff.
Or if you just want to have a pile of great stuff.
Yes. It is a massive waste of money.
Yeah, it's not great.
So there I was, 7:30 last night, heading to the store, my kid in pajamas, no nap. So he needs to go to bed. Because if he finds out you need to go to the store and you're going to go without him, you might as well insult everything he knows and loves. Picking up some more foam so I could go, this is no exaggeration on the time.
Yeah.
And then cap it, put it in the overhead cupboard, so that way in 4 years when I need it again,
you can throw it out.
I can throw it away then instead of now.
I'm glad that I could help you waste some money.
And time. Mm-hmm. Yep, very important. I appreciate it. It has not gone unnoticed. So you have said, though, in terms of birthday parties for your children, you're waiting on the friend parties. Mm-hmm. So are you waiting for till they have school-age friends?
Probably 5-6 years old.
And even then, are you someone, you can do the party here where you host, right? So you're getting food, you're getting whatever. Or are you saying, I'll pony up to go to local
Jump Zone or whatever, the
or
arcade
local
place.
entertainment center?
Yeah. I think that'll be the bowling place where you just go in there. You say, "Here's all these kids. Mm-hmm. Let them bowl. Let them eat. How much?"
Yep. And here's a wristband. You got 2 hours, kids. Leave me alone.
Yep. Yeah, I think so.
I think that's how I'm going to transition.
I think that's the way to do it. Maybe roller skating.
Yep.
Kids still roller skate.
Boy, I got to tell you, that'd be a lightly attended party, I think.
Maybe I'll bring my skates.
The 3 household transitory rollerblades.
Yes. By the way,
I'll put it on the poll. Do kids like roller skating parties?
yeah. Going back to the party, I'm not done.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
I thought we had wrapped up. I apologize.
The review is not over.
Please continue.
Because I'd like to move on to what I believe was the most egregious of all of the issues that I spotted yesterday.
So this is the one you got back in the car, kids in their seats, and you leaned back and you said, "Evelyn, can you cover your ears?" And she covers her ears, and you lean over to Annette.
Believe that?
And you lean over to Annette and you say, "Can you believe this idiot?" And you lean back and you say, "Evelyn, you can uncover your ears now." And then because you're just so out of mind about this thing that happened.
Yeah. I believe the most egregious failure on your part was the snacks that was on each table. Now you had the cookies that were shaped like little, like you could make skeletons out of them. Mm-hmm. Fantastic. Like a shortbread with a little, some sprinkles on it. Mm-hmm. Excellent. But next to it was a bowl with a mixture. Peanuts? Love them. Who doesn't love peanuts?
Honestly, if you don't like a peanut, yeah.
Get out of America.
Exactly.
But you cut the peanuts with candy corn. And this is like right after Labor Day. This is a non-forgivable offense.
Wow. Okay. Let me tell you, let me peel back the curtain a tiny bit.
Oh, you're a garbage person. That's what you're going to tell me?
Neither of those were even...
A garbage person is someone who eats candy corn.
Neither of those things were even on the table of discussion until...
This is just a last minute...
This was hyper last minute. The cookies were a checkout impulse purchase when I went to get all of the soda, water, and beer and seltzer that I provided. You're welcome. Saw those on the checkout. Thought, hey, I'll get a couple of those. Paid out of my own pocket. You're welcome. And brought those over.
Would you want me to pay for it? Do you take up a collection so the guests can pay for it?
I checked at the end, and the donation bucket that was left at the mailbox.
Little empty.
Don't know who. Either nobody donated, which I find no way possible, right. Or somebody's took it when they left.
Could have been D-Dot across the street.
So that was an impulse purchase. And I got home, and I thought, boy, and it was a very large thing of candy corn.
Oh, I know.
So I split that puppy into 3. Put a little bit on each table. Big hit.
No, absolutely not.
Big hit.
It was bad enough that they were served to the general public. Big issue.
The unwilling participants subjected to the severity of candy corn.
But I think what made it worse is when my daughter, who's 3, didn't know what that was in the little bowl, reached in there, grabbed one, ate it, and then said, "Dad, I like this." And I thought, ugh. Turned to Annette, and I just said, "We've lost her." And Annette said, "What? I like candy corn." And I thought, oh good Lord.
My goodness. I got a couple of ride or dies in the candy corn clan. Oh. Nope, shouldn't call it that.
Yeah.
The CCC.
Right. Totally different.
Oh man, a lot of times I wish when I think of one of those abbreviations that for whatever reason I love doing, I really had 30 seconds forethought to see how that's going to play out when I say the words.
Disagree. I think it works out perfectly.
I'm going to put on the poll, are you part of the candy corn clan? And then in parentheses,
are you a ride or die in the CCC?
That's a better way to put it.
So
listen, I've got a couple of partners though.
This was a shock to me. I did not expect this. And then I tried to keep my comments to myself, but I just could not stay quiet about this. So I brought it up to you in the moment. I said, this is absolute garbage. No offense. And then I told you, I said, to be honest, I don't think I've had one of these.
Your estimate shocked me. Your estimate, because I think if people had to guess what you're about to say, most would say at most, or on average, I haven't had one of those in 5 or 10 years.
Yeah, a couple of years.
Right? But you're right in the way you look at this and the way this is something that once you have it and you know the flavor, I think you kind of know. Mm-hmm. You like it or you don't.
Well, there's that. It's the texture. It's that consistency of eating a candle, basically. I don't think I'd had one in about 3 decades.
30 years. So since you were less than 10.
Yeah, since I was a little kid. So I tried one. They were sweeter than I remember. Mm-hmm.
But which, once you think about what it is, shouldn't be that surprising.
Yeah, it's sugar.
Yeah, it's straight sugar.
It's sugar formed into a cone. Yeah. Into a little road cone, basically. It was a little sweeter than what I remember, but still, you are just absolutely scraping the bottom of the barrel with that garbage candy. And this is coming from somebody who ate all the crap that Trevor sent us.
Yeah. Yeah, all of the garbage candy and stuff that we've received over the years.
No offense, Trevor.
No offense, Trevor. You have eaten willingly. Mm-hmm. I just pulled it up. Candy corn isn't just sugar. It has several ingredients, including gelatin, which is a protein made from animal parts like hides and bones.
Oh, good. Okay.
Sugar, corn syrup, confectioner's glaze, salt, dextrose, gelatin, oil, artificial flavor, a little bit of honey. If there's one thing I had to tell people, like, when you drink wine or smell wine or however you're supposed to do that, and then you're supposed to talk about the notes.
Yeah.
I think we should do that with candy corn because I think the most underrated flavor note is honey. You can absolutely taste the honey in the candy corn if you don't have a real idiot's palate.
So, yeah, that was the most egregious. Actually, no, I will put the fact that Robert was there as the most egregious.
Hey. Sir. Stop it.
I enjoyed seeing Robert. We had good conversation.
Boy, I wish I could do it just the holidays.
Boy, I enjoyed watching him let your dogs out of the house on purpose.
Every time.
And then say, no, don't go out there.
Every time. And I need to apologize to my brother publicly. I question his ability to drive, if we need in a pinch, the Comanche during Parade Cast, which, again, we don't have time to give an update. As of Friday, it's a coin toss.
Who knows?
I cannot get any person from the city of Hudsonville to answer me. Not just answer me, answer my voicemail, answer my email, answer my call. Nobody will answer me from the city of Hudsonville about how to do this.
Yeah.
Neither here nor there. We'll get to an update on that when one is deemed relevant. I smited his character about being able to drive the Comanche, entirely forgetting he drives a semi-truck for his job.
Right. Which is a manual speed or a manual transmission.
A little bit of a different in size and scope.
A little bit. Yeah, I don't think Robert would physically fit inside of the Comanche.
Yeah.
But he was very offended.
Yeah.
It was funny when I first saw him. He said, hey, man, how's the Jeep? And then he snickered.
But neither here nor there. Steve, thank you and the family for coming. Thank you for providing a gift. A lovely birthday party that I will, again, never, ever, ever be doing again.
Well, that's good because, as I told you, there were many problems. All right, so I think it is time. We've had a couple of envelopes sitting here on the end of the counter for a little over a week now. We forgot to get to them last week. So should we jump into some viewer mail time?
We have to.
Hey folks, viewer mail time again. Oh, here's one from Sally, age 14. Dear Pig.
There it is. Third one. Oof. Love it.
Boy,
what do you got over there?
Steve.
Can I open one of these? Can I get in on this?
Steve, you know what day it is, don't you?
Is it? I mean, it's been a while.
My goodness.
It's about that time of the month, though.
It is. It comes once a month. Nothing this regular. outside of the holidays.
Yeah.
It is Money Day. We're going to kick off Money Day this month with, as always, our friends down at the Bill Payment Processing Center in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. That's the 57117.
Of course.
There. Addressed, again, still a little bit offended, directly to you, Steve. Let me open this back up here a second. And oh, of course, Steve. Our friend William Stackman.
Billy Stacks.
Billy Stacks himself coming through and finally adjusting for the cost of inflation. $6.50 this month, Steve.
Oh, thank you, Billy. Much
William
appreciated.
Stackman, thank you so much, sir. The regular payments do keep coming through. We will let you know the second they start getting rejected once we deposit them.
All right, I'm going to dig into this one over here. I believe I know who this is from.
Okay. This is,
This looks like a familiar one.
Okay.
Oof, just destroyed that. From our good friend Trevor. Not in Nashville, but
In Dixon or in Burns.
Or Burns,
Again,
Tennessee.
the suburbs.
I like what he did this week.
Okay. Did he fix? I still demand satisfaction from the 9/11 incident a month ago. And I don't know how I demand that satisfaction. Again, this isn't the 1700s where I could challenge him to a duel. I still feel really uncomfortable about that.
Well, I think that these numbers go together better than 9/11. If you can believe that.
Okay.
This check is for 1234.
Hey, okay.
$12.34. Thank you very much, Trevor.
Just to recap,
34 plus 1884. Ooh.
That is yet another month officially in the red. Thanks to everybody. Thank you, Billy. Thank you, Trevor. That is an absolute delight to see those come every month, to know that we will still
Just
not
so close. Just what, $1.16 off or something.
Yeah, we've got.
If anybody wants to be for just
$1.16
a month, we'll possibly send you a tote bag. Side note: no tote bag.
Okay. Steve should.
Yeah, for just the cost of a cup of coffee at the worst coffee shop you could ever go to.
For just the cost of a cup of coffee at one of those places that says, donate what you can. Here's the carafe of garbage coffee.
Yeah.
Take a styrofoam cup and
take
be
some
along your
Sanka.
way. You could put this podcast in the black.
Yeah. Well, technically, I guess we would need $1.17.
$1.17 will officially
we don't want to
make
break
us
even.
Profitable. No, breaking even is nothing at this point.
Breaking even is losing.
Yeah, that's right.
We're winners.
A push is a loss, and I demand to not be a loser. Steve, should we get to? We have a few weeks, or actually, I'm sorry, only 1 week, but we do have a bunch of polls from last week.
Yeah.
If you would like to get to those.
Time to see how wrong everyone else is. It's poll recap time. Find the polls at Steve and Kyle on Twitter.
If you're not following us there, you did miss. Just 10 days ago, quick video of Steve sitting in the Jeep Comanche.
Yeah.
With baby Boolin Wall. There is a seat in the Jeep Comanche.
There is.
I am now more confident that the Jeep will be ready for the parade than the fact that we will actually be allowed to be in the parade.
We may be on the outside looking in.
Honestly, I still think we go to the route.
Just show up.
And we wait till the very end, right? So they have all the cars and floats and everything numbered or however they do it. And then they have, the last thing, which is probably a person cleaning up all the trash.
Yeah.
And then we will drive the Comanche behind that person brooming
So we'll
the road.
basically be the first car in the general population of traffic.
Correct. So we'll get the walking traffic as people leave.
Right.
As we're waving.
As Rusty is waving and throwing candy at people.
Beautiful. Steve, what would you rather be? Your options were the Homecoming King or the Polish Master of Ceremonies.
Homecoming King.
76% of the audience said the Polish master of ceremony.
Jesus. What the hell's wrong with people?
Is there any way it can stop at Steve just buying Halloween inflatables? 80% of the audience said no. You are now in it.
Yeah.
And that is simply the DARE program, this version of the gateway drug. Is there a king of Poland? 67% of the audience said maybe.
What were the options?
Yes and maybe. What's more important to drive a car on the road? Registered and insured or freshly upholstered seats?
Seats, man. Gotta have somewhere to sit.
62% of the audience agree with you, and they say freshly upholstered seats are the way to do it. Is slow-pitch softball a cesspool of buffoonery? 84% of the audience said yes. That's what you want to get back into. You received a shaking my head reaction to me from Rusty when he heard that. He was quite disappointed.
Wait, he was disappointed in what?
That you went back in softball.
Really?
That you're willing to dedicate your time.
So
him and I are very perturbed at the death of the Marvel movie reviews.
Oh, okay.
So I think everything ties back in. So he says you're going to make time for slow pitch softball, yet you can't make time to watch a 2-hour movie once a week.
Well, it's probably about the same time commitment. Yeah.
Yeah.
I understand. I understand Look, I understand. That's okay. I'm going to win Rusty back.
I don't think you're going to. I think
that's going to be an awkward parade then.
I think you've really lost him. Unless you can get me Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings next week.
You know?
Oh, don't do this. Next week. Here's the deal. And Rusty and I talked about this. Here's the deal. There will be a Marvel movie review next week. Mm-hmm. Whether it's you or it's me filling in.
Okay. How about Rusty? Can we get Rusty in?
You can get Rusty. I hate to put our business out there. Do we have the tech savviness to play The Flight of the Bumblebee and have Rusty giving the review over a phone line, or do you just want him in?
Yeah, I was thinking bring him in.
All right. We can get Rusty next week. I don't know why I said that. I haven't talked to him about it.
What's he got going on?
Yeah, honestly. Pounding a bottle of booze. No offense.
No, not at all.
Was Kyle's 2018 softball season the Michael Jordan number 45 era?
Oh boy, I forgot about that comparison.
76% of the audience said yes. A real boon to the spirits.
Wow. Interesting.
Is the best time to start your running routine the dead of winter? 79.5% of the audience said yes. I don't know what that was about.
Were you going to start running?
No chance that was from me.
Okay.
And finally, do only Poles buy Zunes?
Poles meaning the Polish.
Polish people.
Zune meaning the long defunct Microsoft iPad or iPod competitor.
81.3% of the audience said yes.
Oh, good.
Only Poles
good
buy Zunes. That's
good.
your recap for the polls. You can find those at Steve and Kyle. Hey, I wanted to ask you while we're getting out of here.
What do we got? Oh boy, Robert's gonna be
Actually,
pleased.
you know what? I can ask you next week.
Okay. Oh, is that the 8-bit?
No. Oh, boy, it'd be a real letdown. It is the one time a year I'll ask you, what's the plan for your Halloween? And I think, you've got years past you offered to let me come over and hand out candy, but on your porch only.
I know. You're welcome. The offer still stands. I know how much you love spooky season.
Yep.
Things that go bump in the night. Bats.
So I'm curious to hear your plans.
Mask.
Not one, 2 children now. And one kid getting to that age where fascinated and in love with the Elsa and the Anna and the...
it's Anna.
I'm so sorry. And
if
Moana.
You say Anna, you will be corrected. You'll be reprimanded.
You've got a kid who's into that, into the dress up. I'm curious to hear if Steve and Annette are still shutting the light off and hiding in the basement come Halloween night next week.
It was the perfect night for a pizza party. Everyone had a great time.
Next week, find out Steve's Halloween plans, and then you can then listen the day after Halloween.
All right, at Stephen Kyle, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. I know we have a couple of polls up there this week. Look forward to getting to them next week. And also the big A-bit. What are my Halloween plans?
And that is a reason to tune in.
Talk to you next week.